For many, being a park ranger is the perfect job. A park ranger is responsible for the protection and conservation of woodlands, forests and conservatories, and helping visitors navigate their way around national parks. Some of the most interesting stories from these regions are those that are difficult to explain. Hundreds of stories can be found online that detail large humanoid creatures within America's national parks, but one of the problems is that it's hard to back up these stories with physical evidence. Photographs that are taken are usually blurry, due to the fact that these creatures are spotted from a distance. Modern smartphone cameras are great at capturing things close up. However, the minute someone zooms in on something, the photo quality diminishes. It's for this reason that many decide not to come forward with their encounters, in fear of being judged due to lack of evidence. Although scientists and researchers will say that we don't have enough evidence to prove that a large humanoid is roaming around America, every year hundreds of people still come forward with their encounters, leading many amateur researchers to believe that there might be some truth in these claims. One interesting story was recently shared by a retired park ranger, who detailed that while working around Washington and Mount St. Helens, he began to hear about strange stories after the eruption. It's important to note that this area is known for strange happenings, with one of the most well-known ones being that of the Ape Canyon encounter. A narrow gorge on the east flank of Mount St. Helens would become known as one of the strangest encounters with large humanoids, where in the summer of 1924, a group of gold prospectors would detail encountering 7-foot-tall hairy humanoids, saying that they started attacking them with boulders. The retired park ranger detailed that while working in the area after the eruption, he heard stories that the military were present in the area, and that they were searching for something. The park ranger said that after talking with some people and even the military themselves, they weren't able to gather much information, except from a few whispers that said that large creatures had been found in the area, charred from the eruption that had occurred from Mount St. Helens. Wondering if the military was trying to save local wildlife that got caught in the wreckage, the ranger then approached one of the military men and said that they could be of service, detailing that he knew a spot where they would congregate. When saying they, the ranger meant species of wildlife. However, it seemed that the military took this as meaning something else, as the ranger detailed that they pulled him aside for questioning, asking for him to take them to the spot where the creatures were spotted. Once they arrived, however, it quickly became evident that they weren't talking about the same thing, as the military questioned the ranger further, asking him if he'd seen any of the humanoids and knew of their whereabouts. This led to a back and forth with the ranger and the military, with them eventually realizing that he couldn't assist them, and so told him to go along his way, and to not talk to anyone about this. The ranger ended by saying that years later he still hasn't had closure on why the small military team was scanning the area, and what they meant by humanoids. Interestingly, this isn't the only story. Shortly after the devastating eruption of Mount St. Helens, located in the northern state of Washington, a team of researchers surveyed the area to better understand the explosive devastation. After death tolls had been tallied up, and the calculations were done, researchers found that more than 540 million tons of ash and debris had been ejected, leading to massive gaping slopes and areas of complete removal from the force of the powerful explosion. Interestingly, rumours would begin to spread surrounding the region, that many claim were due to the powerful eruption that had taken place back in 1980. In the following years thereafter, many began to report seeing a large flying creature in the region. The creature was described as standing more than 9 feet tall, and had the ability to affect and shut off car engines. Additionally, descriptions of the creature detailed that though it had bat-like wings, its feet were more bird-like. If that didn't add enough confusion as to the potential species, its face was described as being wolf-like. It was completely covered in dark fur, had large yellow eyes, massive sharp teeth, and an extended wingspan more than 50 feet in length. Those sightings of the creature can be traced as far back as the year following the Mount St. Helens eruption. The most popular report of the creature would not occur until 2009. In April of 2009, a man by the name of Brian Camfield claimed that as he was driving through the region, his truck had suddenly shut down. Before Camfield could even assess the situation, the creature landed on the hood of his truck and stared into his eyes before flying away. It was not until after the creature flew away that the truck roared back into life. Though the sighting was not filled with excitement, given Camfield's reputation of being an overall trustworthy individual, his story began to spread throughout the region, with others confirming that they'd also seen the creature, but were too fearful of talking about it. In recent years, we've learnt that the world around us can change at any moment, not just because of things outside of our control, but also because of discoveries that we make every single day. Some of these include finding lost cities and archaeological digs, finding explanations for strange phenomena, or answering questions that have long left us puzzled. One recent discovery was made by a drone that was scanning the nearby marshes. A 75-year-old author was hiking with friends and family when he suddenly vanished. The friends and family went to police in order to try and get a search team, saying that the man that went missing was elderly, and that he'd gone missing during their walk. The officer called in various units to help with the discovery, including drones that were used to scan the nearby area. The search for the author went on into the night, with friends and loved ones worried that something bad may have happened, given how old the author was and that he's gone on various hikes before. Over 50 people took part in the search to find Peter Pugh, with investigators saying that he can't have gone far, telling everyone in the nearby area that the author must be within Norfolk, saying that he can't have gone far from where the hike took place. After not having much luck on the ground, the police then sent up drones in the sky in the hopes of finding any signs of movement. The officer who was in control of the drone then spotted something in the nearby marshes, and as the drone went in for a closer look, it turned out to be a human submerged in water and mud. Officers and responders quickly made their way to the scene, and it was confirmed that it was the missing author Peter Pugh. Once they made their way over, it became apparent how lucky Peter was, as the officer said he had been stuck in the water and mud for over 20 hours, and was suffering from hypothermia. Police said that Peter had been walking with friends and family at the time of his disappearance, and it was around 5:30 in the evening that they became separated. After calls were made to the police along with Her Majesty's Coast Guard, the Royal National Lifeboat Institution, and Norfolk Lowland, search and rescue began their searches of the nearby area. They worked throughout the night in order to find Peter, stating that it was important to find him within the first 24 hours, saying that it's rare for people to go missing for more than a day, and that 3/4 of them are found within 24 hours. However, they said that as time goes on, the chances of finding them decreases. Just after lunch on June 17th, the Norfolk police drone piloted by Sergeant Danny Leach spotted something in the nearby marshes, which luckily turned out to be Mr. Pugh. Using the drone, the officer was then able to guide the rescuers in the direction of Peter, and also helped to assist the rescue service. As the Coast Guard helicopter arrived, the team was pulling Peter from the thick mud that had trapped him. He was then taken to the Queen Elizabeth Hospital in Kings Lynn where he was being treated for hypothermia. When Peter was asked about what happened, he said he didn't really remember much, but was very thankful for how quickly everyone acted, saying that he was so fortunate to have been found. Peter's wife said the following: "He is doing remarkably well. He's sleeping quite a bit. His knees and legs were slashed by the reeds and now looks like raw meat. but he's a tough old bird and he's recovering well. We've all been out to eat and were heading back home when Peter decided to go off on his own for about half an hour, so we could go back and look at the seals. But he ended up walking into an area where he shouldn't have gone, and fell into some water and mud amongst the reeds. I think he was lying down in the end and up to his neck in water, but he was fighting all the time to try and get out. He didn't have a mobile phone on him, and even if he did, it would have got so wet that it wouldn't have worked. The Coast Guard helicopter searched for him on Saturday night, but didn't find any sign of him. But he had a bright pink polo shirt on him, and this is what caught the eye of the drone operator. Then the helicopter came back on Sunday afternoon to winch him out. All he can really remember is the voices of the people who came to rescue him. I just want to reiterate how wonderful the rescue service and the police all were. I think the drone saved his life." End quote. Sergeant Alex Butcher, who helped search and rescue find Peter, said the following: "Through our teamwork we were able to successfully locate Peter and return him back to his family on Father's Day. There's no doubt that without the police drone we would not have been able to locate him in the time that we did. The police drone allows us to search areas that are difficult to access and within close range where a helicopter may not be able to get. Approximately 50 people were directly involved with this search operation, and it was through their dedication and hard work that we was able to save this man's life." End quote. Hundreds of thousands of people go missing every year, and sometimes these people can vanish right under our noses. It's important to remember how hostile certain areas on our planet can be. Lucky for Peter, it seems that a pink shirt may have been the determining factor that led to search and rescue saving his life. So what do you make of this interesting story? Be sure to leave your questions and answers in the comment section below, and help us to grow this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.